Hello everyone, this is SecretDoorGaming. I'm playing another kind of scary horror romance game. I do really kind of enjoy these games. They're called Yandere games, and they're like obsessive stalker type romance games, and yeah, kind of creepy. So it's about you walking down the street and then you find this wounded man, and you go from there and see what happens. So let's give it a playthrough and check it out. This is a horror game demo it's a demo. Oh well. But we'll give it a try. That contains content made to induce fear. It is not recommended for those easily disturbed. If needed, please read the content warnings before continuing. Well, let's read the content warnings. So if this is something that'll disturb you, please don't read through or watch this playthrough. This game contains Yandere behavior, stalking, manipulation, harassment, and violent tendencies, self-harm, blood violence, suggestive themes, sudden tone shifts, and other material made to induce fear. If you are sensitive to any of these materials, please reconsider playing. I have to know your name. I normally take Celine. As the sun finally sets, the lengthening shadows all begin to bleed together until everything is covered in darkness. My path is only illuminated by the occasional street light, and I start to become nervous again, like something bad is about to happen if not treated with caution. I'm sorry if you heard that outside. That was a very loud motor. I start picking up my pace as I get closer to home. I didn't plan to be out for so long, especially not at night all by myself. The grocery store bag, clutched tightly in my hands, seems much heavier, even though it only carries the sole jug of milk that I desperately needed before leaving the house earlier. Now I'm wondering if it really was worth the trip. Turning the corner just leads to another dark road. I debate whether I should slow down to prevent tripping or just break out in a run here and now. I would run. Run with my jug of milk. But it's just a couple more blocks and I'll be back at home. For some reason, nagging at the back of my mind, that didn't feel like an appealing solution either. If something dangerous really was just out of view, going back to an empty house was just like throwing a blanket over your head to keep the monsters away. Oh, you're a real scaredy cat. It's moments like this I wish I didn't live alone. But I'm probably just anxious for no reason. I don't have any evidence that someone is really trying to hurt me. I don't know, I love living alone. If I was alone, that would be so nice. Just these paranoid feelings in the back of my mind that I should ignore. I really have to stop trying to freak myself out. All it's doing is causing me to lose sleep, which makes me more on edge. Wow, you are really like overthink everything. Focusing on getting home is the only thing I need to worry about for now. Then I can eat dinner, chill out, and finally get some much needed rest. Why'd you go so late to get milk? Or maybe you just got off work. Ooh. Just as I'm about to turn down the last street, I'm just going to have a little sip of my tea. Oh, that was good. My throat was dry. I see a figure sitting next to the sidewalk a few feet in front of me. I immediately stop walking and try to get a better look before getting any closer. I hear my blood start to pulse faster in my ears. They are almost fully hidden from view, so I didn't have much of a chance to see them from further away, and they are perfectly still. I feel the fear rising in me again and stay frozen in the same spot, my muscles tense, waiting to see if the stranger makes a move. They do nothing, and since it's so dark, I can't even tell if they have seen me or not. Just cross the street and walk on the other side of the street, Celine. Though I keep getting the feeling they are staring right at me. It's terrifying, but I can't just stand here forever. I want to go home. Swallowing the lingering, morbid thoughts and stirring up some bravery, I begin to walk again until I'm only a couple of feet away from the stranger. You could always cross the street. Aww. Once I'm closer, I can finally make out some of the vague details of their face, his face, and we make eye contact. I flinch back a bit after seeing him look at me, but then I start to notice something strange. He's curled up in the grass, clutching his arms tightly to his body, and I begin to hear his heavy, uneven breaths over my own. He's hurt, badly. Aww. As soon as I see the state he's in, I'm not only more worried than before, but now also heavily concerned for his well-being. That's when you call the cops. Hello, can you hear me all right? Are you okay? What happened? For a moment he just keeps looking at me. His expression is unreadable this far from any light source, but he must feel scared too. He doesn't respond. At this point I feel he may be really, really injured. Maybe he can't even understand me. Just as I reach into my pocket to try and call for help, he finally speaks up. Injured guy. Something happened to me earlier. I was just trying to walk home, and I'm a bit hurt right now. A bit hurt? He doesn't seem like he's doing well at all. Do you need help? Can you walk? He leans forward and begins to push up on his arms like he's trying to stand up, but he quickly winces and sits back to his original position. It hurts. My arms really hurt. My legs are okay, though. How did you hurt your arms? Is anything broken? Broken? I didn't break anything. He shifts uncomfortably on the ground, trying to move his body to a more upright position. He looks at me a bit nervous. It's easier to see his face like this. Oh, he's got red eyes like the other guy that I played in the other game. Is that like a sign of like stalker guys with red eyes? Or pink eye? Pretty pale. A little scary. Yeah, he's a little creepy looking. Too skinny for my taste. And pale. Well, because I'm like the daring type, I'm gonna go like, and I want it to like turn into some kind of romance maybe. A bit cute. I didn't notice it before, but this guy has such nice wavy hair and pretty eyes. Pretty pink eyes. I feel a kind of bad focusing on that, but the realization truly caught me off guard. My eyes shift away to focus on anything else, but I shouldn't be thinking about this and instead try to find out how to help him. I must seem so rude right now. Please don't think I'm acting weird. Is everything all right? Oh God, he thinks I'm acting weird. Everything is totally fine. I'm just a bit squeamish about broken bones is all. You don't have to worry. My arms aren't broken, just a bit hurt. Well, okay, I'm glad it's not that bad then. You should really be more careful. Getting injured on the side of the road this late is really dangerous. You're right. I'm really glad you're the one who came along. It seems like I had nothing to worry about earlier to think I was so scared of him just a moment ago. I thought I was going to die when I first saw him. Oh, Celine. You are crazy, girl. But I was really overreacting. You are overreacting. And now I'm just having a normal conversation with a stranger sitting in the grass. But I still don't really know anything about him, and he still seems pretty worried, too. I should try to calm him down a bit more so I can help better. What's your name? My name, it's Devin. He seems really shy about it. I feel kind of bad asking now. That's a really nice name. It suits you. There's no way. I think your name is much nicer. I don't think I told you my name. My name? Wait, what? I didn't even tell you my name. How do you know my name? I didn't tell it to you yet. Oh, you didn't? I'm sorry. I must have thought you said it already and it slipped my mind. I feel a bit embarrassed. I hope you don't think I'm insincere now that I complimented something I don't even know, but I'm certain your name is nice. That's all I was trying to say. Sorry to confuse you. It's fine. I was just a bit caught off guard. So what is your name? I feel a bit hesitant to tell him now, but I really shouldn't fault him for an honest mistake. It's Celine. Celine, that is a nice name, just like I guessed. Devin is now more focused on his sudden blunder than the pain he's in, which is a bright side. It seems that conversation helped a bit, even if a bit awkwardly. He looks off to the side, trying to distract himself. Talking to a stranger like me seems to make him pretty nervous. As a sort of anxious reflex, he begins to mess with the sleeves of his sweater. He just ends up wincing in pain after pulling on them too hard. Do your arms still hurt to move? Yeah. I'm just wondering how he hurt his arms. Devin tries to move his arms again, then gives up quickly. He pulls them back into his lap in a comforting position. Will he be able to make it back somewhere safe soon? It's horrible. His arms hurt too much to even make it home. I feel bad just leaving you here like this. Here, let me help you walk a bit closer to your house. You shouldn't have to sit here in the dark. My house is still a bit of a walk away. I should be fine. I feel better already after talking to you. It seems I may have been a bit too worried after all. At least let me walk you to a bench nearby to rest. It's better for you than just sitting on the ground. You'll help me? I really appreciate that. I just need some help standing up, then I'll be okay to move on my own. Helping him out seemed like an easy enough offer, but actually finding a good way to lift him up gracefully was a harder task than I guessed. Setting down my grocery bag of lonely milk on the sidewalk, I walk a bit closer to Devin. I don't know if you should trust him, lady. You shouldn't trust him. We both look at each other, trying to figure out the best way to go about this. I want to lift him up without hurting him or making him uncomfortable. Eventually, he moves his legs until they are bent under him, almost in a kneeling position. Then I move beside him, wrapping my arms around his torso. As I increase the pressure of my hold on him, his breathing becomes even more labored and unsteady. His body becomes incredibly tense, despite how carefully I try to lift. Are you okay? I'm trying to not touch your arms too much, but let me know if anything hurts. It really doesn't hurt that bad. I can barely feel it. Feeling a bit more reassured after knowing he's okay, I give one final lift until he's up on his feet. We did it! I don't want to help him anymore. He's creepy. Hopefully you're all good to go now. Now, I should really be heading back. Before I can even finish what I was about to say, Devin begins to wobble over after trying to stand on his own. I quickly reach back over to hold him steady, and he ends up leaning back into my arms, clutching my shoulders to keep from falling. You know he's just pretending to be, injured to get you. What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Are you sure? I can call someone for you or get you a ride to a clinic if something is wrong. I think it's just my blood pressure after sitting there too long. I'm fine, honestly fine. Do you think you can try walking on your own, or is that too much? I think I'd need a bit more time before walking on my own. I can just sit back down if it's too much trouble for you. You should leave him, Celine. It's not that too much trouble after all. He's not, offering any of your, advice for calling a clinic or a cab or... Something seems really suspicious about him. I would walk away. But Celine is not that bright. Street smart bright, that is. If you are okay with it, you can lean on me while we walk to the bench. I don't know how much you feel like moving right now. If I have your support, I'll be okay to move. I wouldn't support him. Okay, I'll try to walk slowly and not put too much strain on you again. We move in a side-by-side position where his arm is over my shoulder as I wrap my arm around his back. The walk continues at a steady pace as we get halfway down the street. I feel Devin's breathing as he pushes against me for stability. It seems to still be quick and heavy. His body also feels cold and damp. Just how long had he been there by himself? Cold and damp. Is he really okay? I wonder if he's dead, if he's like a vampire. I look over to glance at Devin's face, which is completely pale with a small smile creeping onto his lips. The image is almost frightening with the state he's in. Ooh. Like he doesn't even know how bad his condition is. No, like he doesn't even care. He notices me staring, and his unreadable gaze meets mine in an instant. It feels he can read every thought and intention running through my mind. Suddenly his eyes soften as his grin turns more friendly, but the off-putting paleness is still there. I wonder if he's a vampire. You really are too kind to me, even helping me walk. For a second I feel I can't move. I can hardly breathe while looking at him directly. As I said, no trouble. I have to force myself to turn away from him and continue to focus on walking. But I can still feel him right next to me as my heart hammers faster in my chest, and I pray he doesn't notice. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe it's because we've met in such a weird situation. But he looks at me differently than anyone else I've ever met. Ooh. I strengthen my resolve and begin to push forward again. Get him to a bench. Quickly. We finally get to the end of the street and turn the last corner. The bench is just a few feet away. Here we are. You should be able to rest right over there. I gently pull him over until he's able to safely sit down on his own. He seems a bit shaken up still, but he's much better off on a clean bench, near a street light than on the ground in the dark. Thank you for taking me all the way here. It was so considerate of you. Even though Devin says that, he doesn't look relieved at all. I feel a bit guilty ending it like this, but just how much more can I really do? You can't. Hell, he didn't even want me to do this much. I'm glad I could help. I really hope you feel better soon. It was nice to meet you, Devin. Just as I'm about to walk away, his hand suddenly grabs mine. Let go of me. Let go of me. Ah! Did you need something else? Let go of me. Devin, are you all right? I immediately turn around and hold his hand in my own while trying to be gentle with his arms. What do you need? Did you change your mind about calling for some help or going to the doctor? I don't want you to have to suffer alone, so I don't mind waiting here with you. Devin looks up at me with wide eyes, like he wasn't expecting this at all. As I begin to sit down on the bench next to him, he finally pulls his hand away and stops me. No, I didn't change my mind. Thank you, though. I just wanted to let you know. I want you to know. You left your milk behind earlier when helping me, and you probably don't want to forget that. Oh, my milk. My milk! That's right, I totally forgot. I can't leave my milk behind, my precious milk. I guess I got so distracted helping you, I almost didn't remember to go back for it. Thanks for reminding me, Devin. What would I do without you? He quickly becomes flustered again and shakes his head a bit. Didn't you say I'm the reason you got distracted in the first place? Maybe so, but it wasn't like you did that on purpose, so I'd still say you're pretty helpful. Devin looks off to the side a bit embarrassed. Wow, Celine, you're like talking to the stranger like he's your best friend. Creepy stranger that's wounded. Or he acts like he's wounded, but he's not. I'm going to go grab my milk now, but let me know if you need anything else. I'll have to walk back by here to get home anyway, so I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute then. I would call like the police. I give a small wave and start to jog towards the corner we just came from. I make a turn and begin walking back down the previous road to where I left my milk. I really am glad that Devin said something because I would have felt so ridiculous once I got home. Uh-oh. You probably should have left your milk behind and just gone home, lady. I would have just left it behind. It was the only reason I came out here and went through this wild evening after all. Oh, it only takes me a few seconds to find the lonely bag sitting on the sidewalk. I don't think that was a good idea to go back for the milk. The time makes me realize just how slow we were walking before. A distance that felt like it took ages to traverse was really a short jog. I quickly glance over the milk to make sure it's still in good condition, and the jug looks perfectly fine. It was only out here by itself for a minute, but better to check than drink bad milk. What is outside? It's cold. It's not going to be like bad. I scoop up the bag into my arms and start heading back. I should really say bye to Devin before heading home and check on him one last time. I run back to the bench and see him sitting there just as I left him. Ew, he looks worse than before. Well, something seems a bit off. He seems just as unwell as ever. In fact, he's not even looking at me now. Is he ready for me to just leave now, or does he even know I'm here? I would call the cops, lady. I step a bit closer so I'm right in front of him and try to duck down to get one last look at his face. Well, I got my milk, so I guess I'll be headed back home now. As I said before, it was nice to meet you. Get home safe, all right? Just as I'm about to leave, I finally notice the dark stains forming all over his sleeves and onto the rest of his clothes. Ooh. All over his sleeves and on the rest of his clothes. Dark stains. Earlier they were small enough that they could be mistaken for shadows, especially in the dim light, but now it seemed much more obvious. Ooh, he's bleeding. Is that blood? Now it's impossible to ignore it. The panic hit me like an anvil as I feel my heart drop. I looked down at the arm I had used to help support his body when we walked over here. There was a smudge of crimson streaked across my hand that I didn't see earlier. He was bleeding. He was bleeding so much. It didn't seem possible. How did I not notice how bad it was? There was blood dripping down his hands now. Did I make it worse? Did I hurt him while carrying him here? No, I didn't mean to hurt him. Will he be all right? No, lady, call the cops. I lifted Devin's shoulders to look at his face. His eyes seemed hazy, like he might pass out soon. You need to get to the hospital immediately. I'll call an ambulance. Why didn't you tell me you were bleeding this much? What happened to you? It's just a little bit of blood. A bit of blood? This seems like much more than a bit. Is it really that bad? Are you worried about me? Yes, now just show me how much you got injured. Oh, maybe he did it to himself. I walk closer and try to reach over to grab his hand. Suddenly, Devin moves up from the bench and stands in front of me. Celine, please, just listen to me. Oh, it's self-inflicted. I need help, but Devin seems to inhale deeply like he's trying to raise all the courage and willpower he has. I want to rush over to help him sit back down safely, but I feel frozen in place. I just examine his face, waiting for a sign to grab and steady him again. His eyes glance at mine, shifting from assessing to pleading. Like he really needs to tell me something. He still seems physically weak, but it's almost like he's even more energized now. Like something in the past few seconds totally revitalized his conviction. We both wait as he finally gets his bearings. Will you please hear me out? Yeah, I'll listen. Ooh. Devin steps a bit more into the light, and raises his arms halfway into the air. Now he looks crazy. It's like he's trying to reveal the injury without moving his sleeves, like he's trying to shield me from just how bad it is. But all I see is more blood, and he seems to sense my concern. I didn't want to worry you too much, but it seems the state I'm in looks quite bad. To be honest, it hurts really bad, too. He grimaces as he looks down at his arms. Maybe he didn't even let himself think of how painful it was before. I didn't want you to know. My arms are so much worse than I let on. Then why don't you let me call for help? Someone did this to me. They were trying to hurt me. Someone hurt you, but who? Devin looks at me with a pained expression, then he stares at his arms again, looking at the stains forming along his sleeves. A stalker. A stalker? What, are you being serious right now? It's true. I didn't really know what was happening until it was too late. Next thing I know, I'm on the side of the street and bleeding. My arms hurt so much, but I couldn't move. I was afraid I was going to be found again and killed. But then you found me instead, and I felt safe. I hope you understand, but I really can't go to the hospital like this. What? Dude, you're bleeding. Surely my attacker would know that's where I need to go, and they'd try to find me there. I don't think so. You'd be safer in a hospital with police. So, I'm too afraid, just the thought of it happening. You're the stalker, dude. And you did it to yourself. It's okay, Devin, I understand. No, I don't understand. You're not going to call for help, right? No, not if you don't want me to, but why can't we call the police? You might be in real danger. Police, I don't think that's a good idea. It makes me too nervous, plus I don't even think they would take me seriously after not believing me before. Looking at the blood continue to drip from his hands, I feel it's hard to not take Devin seriously at this moment. But if he feels so certain about it, I shouldn't doubt him about this either. Then what are we supposed to do? You can't keep walking around like that. I just need someplace safe. I really don't think I can just be home alone while someone is after me. Then if there was some basic medical supplies, I could make it work. I've patched myself up from worse. Ooh. It feels like an adequate solution, but my mind is racing too much to think of a good alternative myself. One thing I know for sure, I can't just leave him like this. I may be terrified, but that is nothing compared to what Devin is going through at this moment. Don't trust him, lady. Call the cops. I've been on edge the past few weeks with thoughts someone has been watching me. Someone has been watching me, but he's been living it. I feel a bit silly trying to relate. I can't help but feel a sense of connection, though, like it was a fate that I happened to be the one here to help him. Yeah, 'cause he's your stalker. He's been watching you. And wouldn't I want someone to do the same for me if I was ever in such a dangerous situation? As I've been going through my reasoning in mind, Devin has just been staring at me with a hopeful expression. If you need some place to go, you can come to my house. Ooh, big mistake, Celine. Really? I can come to your house? I have a first aid kit I bought recently. I'm not sure how helpful it will be, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, that'll work fine. Sorry, I can't believe you're really helping me. I'm not going to leave you out here alone or just hand you off to people you don't feel safe with. I really do want to help you, Devin. We stare at each other for a moment, assessing this bizarre situation that's been laid out quickly in front of us. But the look on his face, he seems so happy, ecstatic even. This just shows that I definitely made the correct choice, right? Or did I even have a choice to not help someone in this much peril? I try to push down any feeling of uncertainty and move on to the next objective. So we shouldn't stay out here too long, right? Isn't it kind of dangerous? Yes, you're right. We should leave right now. Devin's head whips around to survey the area, but he seems quickly satisfied. I think we're safe, but it's best to be careful and hurry along. All right, then let's go. I instinctively walk over to Devin and lean against him, moving my arm across his back again. Celine, what are you doing? You still need help with walking, don't you? After all this, I can't have you falling over on me. Of course, sorry, I nearly forgot, and it surprised me. Devin moves against my arms and we begin to walk together again. Maybe it's from doing it before, but it feels easier this time. My house is just a few buildings down, so you don't have to wait too long. And then you can just stay with me for the night and call whoever you need to call in the morning. This is really too kind of you. I don't deserve it, but at the same time, I can't reject the offer. Don't feel bad for it. I really do want to help you. You should have called the cops, lady. Is there a reason why you want to help me? Or are you just the type of person who would help anyone? Devin's face looks a bit upset when he says this. Does he think I have weird motives? I'm not really sure. I just think if I were in your shoes, I'd want someone to look out for me like this. I bet there is someone who would do anything for you. Ooh. He's that type of guy. The strange compliment makes my heart thump quickly in my chest. I try to ignore, but it's soon all I hear. To distract myself from the noise, I look out into the darkness, trying to search for any stalking figures. I make sure we aren't being followed, and there doesn't seem to be another soul in sight. That's because he's making up the whole story, Celine. For the past few weeks, I've constantly been seeing moving shadows and feeling eyes on the back of my head. Ooh. But for the first time in a while, I don't feel anything at all. I feel safer. And as I finally see the front of my house in view, I think the rest of this wild night is going to actually be okay. Is it the end of the demo? Aw, you have reached the end of the demo. I was so looking forward to more. Well, folks, that's it for this demo. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and I hope the creator continues to work on this game. I can't just wait to see what happens next. And if you like this and want to download it or follow the creator, or what's going on in their blog or whatnot on itch, I've left the link down below. And if you like my playthroughs and my bad jokes, then please hit that like button and support my channel by subscribing, please. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you again from SecretDoorGaming.